Okay. Oh, user control. Hang on. Let's do some checking first. Okay. We have decided on this replacement class, kan? So for the prototype extension, it's this time 60%. Mm, uh, and then there's mark for report lah. And I've prepared the template. You may use the template. Okay. And so far we have covered validation control. And then last week we learned about user control. And our sitemap already learned a few weeks ago. Exception handling, today's lecture lah. Okay, today's lecture. Test cases. 18 August kah? Hang on. Today is week 10, week 11, week 12. Oh, should be in September. Ngam kan? September? Because I remember Malaysia Day is 16 September, Thursday. Okay. And then I know for Jonathan's batch, you all have like try out for your PCD1 assignment. You were asked to do test cases, kan? Okay, for the PCD1, is there any other courses that I have an example of test cases? Macam tak ada. For Wong's batch, PCD1 ba, your assignment report, you were asked to add a table. Okay, if the input is this, okay, expected output is this, and then what is the result? Please confirm for me. You don't remember? How about Russell? Your assignment? Okay, sekejap. I need to check the Google Drive then. But then for Wong's batch, Wong and Ivan, you all have taken intro to system software testing. So I believe you all know what is test cases. And then for house batch, I believe you all have learned software testing as well. And for the latest syllabus, if I'm not mistaken, your software testing previously it was intro to software testing, but then changed to software testing and Q&A. Not Q&A, it's QA, quality assurance. Am I correct? So for software engineering, you all should be familiar with test cases. How about for Kelvin's batch, Noel? For your problem solving course, okay, first year, first semester, does your assignment require you to do some testing using test cases? like show the sample output, and then at the same time you test using valid data, invalid data. If this is the valid data, what is the expected output, and what is the outcome. Mm. Not necessarily a screenshot, but a table of test cases for various input. Okay, in that case, Piada. Hmm. In that case, where did I put my software engineering file? Because it's before the MCO, it's not in this Google Drive. Let me find. Or in that case, let's not waste time. I will check for you, but exception handling, you must include inputs that would create an error, and also specific function that might throw an error. So my focus will be on this two lah, and then how you'll handle this. Let me see. I also want to request for this a personal reflection report, a copy for each student. Your report, the personal reflection can include managing information, time, resources, engage harmoniously with other people, your group member lah, provide leadership, whether or not you are the group leader or you are not the group leader. And then as a group leader or a non-group leader, how you become a responsible and active team members. Okay, due date is, okay, what did I put? Our practical, the demo for the complete web app will be on Saturday, but I wish to like see the uh, report and also the personal reflection on that day lah, this day. But let me know if you cannot make it. Assignment submission, all students assigned. Okay, let me scroll down. Error handling, class activity, user control. Okay, already check on this. To replace the quizzes game, because I've done the vote, the poll last week, right? And I would also like to consider those students who feels that this live game is wasting our lecture time and not suitable. Let me see. Instead I change it to breakout question, breakout room question. I have one on user control. Let me see. Last week we have covered user control. But we haven't got the time to discuss the answer for the questions shown on our slide. Okay, there are question 1, 2, and 3. Okay, 3 questions. So how about to replace our live game? Okay, we discuss questions. Let me see. Is this, do I need to share this? Share. Hang on. What is this? Is it, oh, material. Oh, kalau material, I need to give you the if it's assignment, no need to change the what do you call that? Um, bahaya. Share with people. Oh, last time I no need to do this, kan? Edit. Copy link in case. Okay. Just put here and click pause. 3 questions. So, shall we add our deputy head in the breakout room? I wonder which group has. Let me see. Is our deputy head in? And then okay. Okay. So how long do you need to discuss this? 20 minutes. Oh, Lim is not here. Siapa lagi? Okay, I will set up the breakout room. 3 timer. Any suggestion on the time? 15 minutes, 20 minutes? Almost the same time as our quizzes juga. How long? That first I just put it as. Oh, tiada quizzes. Because based on the poll, 20 minutes, okay. Based on the poll, it seems that quizzes waste our lecture time. Okay, 20 minutes. Okay, let me shuffle. 2 times shuffle, so berapa orang in breakout one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. 3 orang saja in breakout 3. So let me get someone from okay, berapa sudah? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, hang on. Let me double check which question requires more heads. Ini sedang saja. This one senang saja. Oh, more people for question 3 lah. Tapi all questions are easy. Alright, hang on. 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay lah. So I set it for 20 minutes. I'll see you in 20 minutes. And then please select one person to explain your answer lah. Okay, I open the room now. Oh, yes, Celine. You're in the wrong group. Oh, today is random. No, no, no. Not a coding assignment group. Today is random. Because ada 3 soalan sahaja. And we have more than 3 groups. Oh, how to remasuk ah? Oh, okay, let's see macam mana mau Okay, welcome back. Let me see who's still in the breakout rooms. Oh, Daniel, Chuck, Russell, Celine, Jonathan, Nathan, and more. Let me go and call them. Okay, so shall we get the first group to share their screen, one of them? Okay. I will record the students' discussion. Jeremiah, can you increase the percentage 100% to perhaps see 150? How is it? Okay, just nice. You can like scroll the horizontal scroll bar.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so what's your group's answer?
First we need to the question asks us to write a code on displaying the control. So first we need to register a user control, which must include the tag prefix and the tag name and the source, which is the file name. And after registering, we need to add the user control by taking its the tag prefix and then including the tag name and the unique ID. And then uh, by including the control header and run at server.
Okay, so looking at your answer, yes, you're correct. To display or add the user control, we must first register the user control on the page first. So you must have the register tag lah. Okay, excellent. And I can also see your my menu, the tag prefix is correct. Adding the control, user control, tag name. So basically tag prefix and tag name, it will be important when you add the user controller. Okay, thank you, Jeremiah. Let's go to the next question. Who's going to show your group's answer?
Sure. Need to show it. Yeah.
Yes.
Google Doc already.
Oh, Kelvin. Have you upgraded your RAM?
Oh, the now need to wait until Friday to get the RAM upgrade. So
I see. Okay, okay. Increase your zoom 150. Okay, good. Explain.
this question wants us to make user control for this tree to accompany this tree codes. So for this register for this user control, yeah, we need to first for this we need to code this first to accompany. We need to code this to accompany it. Since the tag prefix is control based on this, and then the tag name is header based on this, and then the name is header.astx based on the question. And then the second question
Okay,
also.
so the one that must be the same would be
the control, the tag prefix should be same as this.
okay, tag
And then
prefix
the
and
header should be the same as the tag name
the
should be
tag
this one.
name.
Yeah.
Okay, tag prefix and the tag name. So for this particular question, you already have the code where the code is to add the user control on the page can and you need to do the register. Okay, good. I think everything is
Yeah.
correct. Thank you. How about the third group? Who's going to show the answer?
Hello.
Hi, Noel. Okay.
So in this question, it's saying need to declare the minimum value to 1, right? So first we need to register first the user control name, convert ASCX, and then in the second code we declare the minimum value to 1. Right? That's it.
Here, what do you call the minimum value in this case?
Variable, miss.
A property, yes.
Oh.
Okay, so property means once you have the, let me see, repository, yeah, the public variables, right? So we are assuming that we have public variables. And once we have the public variables, we can expose this as property of the user control. That's why in your, the second line, you are using the mean value as a property for your user control already. And you can like override the value initial value for that particular variable. So you put the mean value set to 1. Okay, good. So, okay, thanks, Jonathan. So I hope you all are now clear on the syntax, registering and adding the user control. Okay, for tomorrow, there'll be a practical exercise on user control. Okay, so that's good. Let me stop the recording. Oops. I want to. Okay. I did some digging just now. Luckily, previously, before the lockdown, I uploaded the materials in another account. Okay, let me show you the screen. Okay, so basically I've downloaded Noel's your problem solving question. Okay, where was it? Downloads. Yours is I'm sure you recognize your assignment question. Problem solving and programming. I've gone through the syllabus. It's more or less, it seems like for the diploma students is programming concept and design 1 combined with programming concept and design 2. So we get problem solving and programming for the bachelor degree students. And for your demo, you did the live application testing. And I saw as well that for your application testing, you need to prepare test cases and show screenshots of actual outputs. Okay, so similar to the assignment question for I managed to dig out 2015 PCT1 question. Okay, 2015. Okay, down here. Okay, sample output. Your batch is using C language. Noel's batch you're using C++. Okay, so this is the one program testing and output. Run using different sets of test data, use a table to show your planned test data and expected output for at least 6 runs, as many different scenarios as possible. So for our, let me see, for our assignment, we focus on the 2 things mentioned. Okay. Let me see, this is the example of the sample table format, the test data and expected output. So something like this. So after every test case, you must show the proof. Okay, this is where your screenshot comes in. Okay. And then I also found this sample. Report sample sent by KL. Also for the first one here, prove the program works for all scenario. So run 1, input test data, expected output, and then this is the proof. Okay. And then this is scenario 2, and then scenario 3. If there's any enhancement. Okay, so that's it for your year 1. I remember for intro to software testing, Wong's and Ivan batch, we did learn about white box testing, black box testing. So we list out our test cases like this. Okay, and then for the IST introduction to software testing. I think because this is just overview of the testing tool, so the test cases is not shown here lah. Oh, ada. But then this is to show how we use the tool to create test plan and test cases. Okay. So I think that's it. So you're clear about what are test cases already, lah kan? But then for us, screenshot as a proof that it happens. Okay, so for us, we would like to see inputs that would create an error, and also please include is there any specific function that might throw an error. Okay, but then I would also like to ask for requests for inputs that are valid lah. Okay, valid and also invalid. Okay, the one that will be extra would be this one. Which function that might throw the error. Okay, any question on the submission? And my reviewer has gave the feedback. Okay, let me see what's the feedback. Hang on. One comment was the students' reports are good, okay, clean, tidy, means are very organized. So I'm really glad that I provide you at least with a template. So my reviewer agrees with the marking being awarded. Okay, and I just want to share this with you all. Or perhaps I will share it tomorrow. Yeah, let me share it tomorrow. Let me write that down because the time now is already 10. Okay, let me see. Feedback on assignment prototype. Okay, so I will do this tomorrow lah. Okay. So I give you 2 minutes for toilet break, and I'll continue. I'll start with the lecture afterwards. Okay. Toilet break now. Okay, I'm back. So I'll start to record our lecture. Okay, this is the chapter on debugging and error handling, chapter 9. Right, so some simple things that we will learn. But then, in fact, when I was browsing through the um, previous courses that you all have gone through, more or less, especially for the programming, your first programming language. The syllabus did mention about, okay, testing your program. Okay, did talk about how to handle the errors. And then as for like web application, and also object-oriented. Normally, we use the term exception handling. Okay, and then I'm sure you all have learned about the types of errors. But then for ASP.NET, it is categorized a little bit different. Okay, so for the first one, we will look at the four types of errors, and then second, the exception handling methods, and then the third one is debugging. So in a way, this is from the in the context of ASP.NET framework. Okay, I will start off with the some introduction where as a programmer, as a software developer, we would in order for us to minimize the mistakes, what do we do? Okay, so number one, we can identify which part of our code that might most probably trigger the errors. Okay, so we focus on that particular part of our code, do our testing, and as well as exception handling. So here we can always adhere to the good coding practice, because when we follow this a good practice, yeah, it will really help us when we troubleshoot later. Now, you all have heard about exception for object-oriented. I believe we call the errors as exception. Okay, so what are exceptions? Exception would be any error condition or unexpected behavior. Means we didn't expect that that will happen, okay, during the execution of the program. So when your program is executed, something unexpected happened, we call it as exception. And so since it happens during your program, while your program is executing, what happens is that it interrupts the normal flow of the execution. Now, the exception can be due to user mistake, or perhaps a logic error, or even a system error. So let's take a look at the four types of errors in our context. Okay, we have parser error, we have compilation errors. We will compare these two. Okay, parser errors and compilation errors, because both are in fact syntax. There's something wrong with the syntax, but then we need to clearly see what's the difference between a parser and compilation errors. And then next we have the configuration errors. That one we will take a look at our web.config. Okay, and there's another one, machine.config, that we haven't touched yet. I have yet to see machine.config so far, but then perhaps in our new chapters. Okay, and then the last one would be the runtime errors. We might also call it as logical errors, because what I see in the slide, it says that logical errors is they are due to the logic, okay, of your program that is incorrect, And then the runtime error means the error that happened during the run when we execute the program, and it might also be caused by logical errors. Okay, we start off with a parser, with the parser error first. Okay, so the definition for this parser error is taken from this particular website. Okay, you can click on the parse errors. Okay, so it says that these are the errors with the syntax of HTML. So again, it's a syntax error, but for the HTML syntax. So for example, this one. Okay, so you can see it will be listed as parser error. Okay. Now, compilation error, again, I highlighted the word syntax. Errors with the syntax means you're not following the grammar of that particular programming language, depending on your compiler, whether you're using C# or VB. So in this particular example, assuming that X has been declared and initialized to -1. Okay, so we have this if statement. Can you identify two syntax errors here? Anyone would like to try? Any syntax error? Yeah, the closing parenthesis. Okay, that is one. Where should we put it? Yeah, after 0. So that is the condition. X is less than 0. If X is less than 0, and then we must close. Pandai buka, pandai tutup. That's what I tell the students. Okay. Yes, correct. Here, this one will not work. We cannot assign this string invalid value to our label message. Notice that we use a server controls, right? And then we must if we already get used to our programming, we should know that for a label, we have a property called text. Okay, that's good. Excellent. So how about, okay, let's look at how it is shown in Visual Studio. Okay, hang on. I get my Visual Studio ready first. Okay, so assuming that I have a simple button, okay, and then a simple label. Okay, so this is the code behind for the button one. Okay, so let me comment this. Where is okay, so let's see what happened. We can see there's two errors. we can click on this to navigate to the error list. So down here would be the error list. This is for warning, this is for message. Okay, this is expected. Cannot convert the type string. Oh, yeah. Up here. It's very easy. You just select, you can comment, uncomment. Okay. What else? Let's look at the errors. So normally it will be shown that there's an error. Double click on it and then it will point to here. Oh, sangat senang. Just tambah the closing parenthesis. Okay, so solve already one. And then another one is, okay, pointing to here. We cannot convert this string to a label. This is a label, a web controls dot label. So over here, okay, we need to assign it to the correct property. Okay, so you can just scroll down. If you cannot remember what is the name of the property, just scroll down. I'm sure you can recall it. Okay, next. Zero errors, zero warning. 0 of 1 message. Unnecessary assignment of a value to X. Yeah, because we are only using it for comparison. Okay. So this is the IntelliSense of the Microsoft Visual Studio. So basically, I think we can run this. Okay, so this is my button, a very simple button. Just click on it. There. So click on it, then it will display on the label. All right. So let's continue. Okay, so similar to the error screen that we saw just now for the parser error, for ASP.NET, it will also show us the name of the error as a compilation error. Okay, now the similarity between these two, both are involving syntax error, and then at the same time, they are also different. Why we call it as parser error? Why we also have why we also have parser error in ASP.NET. Okay, for parser error, there's a syntax error in the HTML code. For compilation error, syntax error in the C# code block, or perhaps VB if you are using VB. So what does it mean? We are referring to the code behind. Now, since this is a HTML is a markup language, so it is triggered or raised when the process is in the process of being parsed. That's why we get the name parser error. And on the other hand, compilation error, it is being triggered or raised when the page, our page here, just now I have a ASPX web form in the process of being compiled. Mine is auto save. So there's no need for me to click save. So what happened when it is auto save or when we click save is that it is save on compiler. Or is it compile on save? Save on compile. Okay. Now there's a question. Discuss the similarity and difference between parser error and compilation error. So I would like to see how you'll describe this, especially when we have final online assessment that you must explain using your own words. So let me go to our Google Classroom, and I believe I can not breakout room. That one is for next week. Okay, class activity, error handling. So I dumped in 3 questions in this particular part. So this is the first one just now, and I also include question 2 and question 3. Okay, benefits of using custom error pages. And this one, what are the 2 ways of handling runtime errors? Why error handling is important? So you can reply to each other. You can edit your answer. Due, when is September 2nd? September 2nd, next week. So I click ask. Right. So let's get back to our slide. The third type is the configuration error. Okay, for the configuration error, this is might be due to there's something wrong in our web.config or our machine.config. We haven't seen machine.config yet, but then a machine.config is it has this particular file has information that applies to every application on a single machine. For web.config is only meant for that particular application. Okay, so example of error, say in your web config you have app setting. Okay, it's a 2-sided tag, but then you forgot the closing tag. Okay, as simple as that. So it will be listed as configuration error. Now, the last type, runtime or logical error, it will be listed as runtime error. Okay, take a look here. An exception occurred while processing your request. Okay, while executing, this is just an example. So let's read the definition for both. Runtime error occur during the runtime, meaning there's nothing wrong with the syntax, successfully compiled. Logical error occurs due to logical error of the code. There's something wrong with the logic of that particular program. So what we're saying here is that since it's not a syntax error, they cannot be detected by our compiler. So refer to this table to compare these two. Any error occurs during runtime, which also include logical error. So that's why we put here as runtime or logical error. But then we also know that logical error would be that particular error due to invalid logic. Like invalid logic, like we want to convert non-numeric value to integer, okay, or 0 division. Okay, and then for runtime error, invalid query string. Normally, we will see this when we run our program, or we attempt to open a database connection not closed previously, or perhaps there's a server failure. So these are the 4 types of errors in our context, ASP.NET environment. We have the parser error, compilation error, configuration error, and finally runtime or logic error. Now, the second part of our lecture is about handling the exception. Okay, if we do not include any mechanism or way to handle the unexpected things, okay, or we can also call it as anomalies, our .NET runtime environment will provide us with a default mechanism. Okay, so whenever there's an exception, what is the default mechanism? Simply terminate. Okay, it will terminate the program execution. While it is still in the development phase, I should be okay because this will be handled by the programmers, by the software developers, okay, or software tester. But then this should not happen when your web app is already live. We do not want our web app to like crash out of a sudden. Okay. Now, look at the second bullet. We also have exception handling as a built-in mechanism in .NET Framework. Exception handling, so that is what we're going to look at. But then I want you all to remember the default mechanism for .NET in handling exception would be to simply terminate the program execution. So we need to take a look at what are the available exception handling in the .NET framework. So it will cover detecting and also ways to handle the runtime errors. Okay. Yep, we have seen this screen page, all this while. This is YSOD, okay, yellow screen of death. Normally, a student will say, oh, miss the blue screen, okay, I have to restart my computer. For web app, okay, we call it as yellow screen of death, okay. Now, exceptions within the .NET framework, we represent or are represented with the instances or objects from the exception class. I think for Java, it's the same thing. We also have exception class in Java. Right. So what do we have in a class normally? We have a class, a proper object-oriented class. We have the properties and also the methods. Okay, so what do we have in this .NET exception class? We have the standard properties that we can use to detect exception. For example, we have the message property, we have the source property, we have the stack trace and also the target site. Okay, so meaning when we take a look at this YSOD or YSOD, the information is actually referring to the exception class property. Like, for example, message. Message is the error message, a string that represents the error message. Okay, and then the second property, source. A string represent the object that caused the error or perhaps an application that caused the error. And then we have stack trace. Stack trace will return the string that represents the methods called immediately before the error occurred. Okay, so it's a trace. We want to see a trace. What are the methods called? Whether there are any methods called. What are the methods? Okay, that being called immediately before the error occurred. And then the fourth property is target site. Here it doesn't return a string like the other three, but it returns a method-based object that represent the method, okay, which method that caused the error. Okay, so now let's take a look at the next slide. See whether you can identify which one is which. So we have the target site, stack, trace, source, and message. So the first one is, if it's too small for you, you can like open your slides, okay? The first one, invalid object name car. What do you think that is? Okay, how about I give you like 2 minutes? Okay, 2 minutes for you to go through this slide and then come up with your own answers. Then I will call you randomly to find out your answers. Okay, I give you 2 minutes to go through. Which one is which? Okay, then I will random call 4 students. Okay, so shall I get Ivan? Okay, Ivan, what do you think number one is? Invalid object name car. The message. How about you, Farah? What is number one? Invalid object name car. Do you think Ivan's answer is correct? Is it a message? Invalid object name car. Okay, number two. Number two is in the exception details as well, but not the invalid object name car, but the system.data.sql client.sql exception. Let's see. Russell, what do you think number two is? Like how? So it's either message, source, stack trace, or target site. Which one is it? Is it a message? Is it a source object that caused the error? Or is it a stack trace to show all the methods that were called immediately before the error occurred? Or is it a target site, the name of the method that caused the error? Okay. How about Celine? Do you agree that number two is a target site? Is it the method that caused the error? But take a look. System.data.sql client.sql exception. Is that a method? A message? Ivan already mentioned that this is the message. The invalid object name car is the message. Okay, so referring to here, no wonder. Okay, in that case, I'll just get someone else. Celine, what's your answer, Celine? I think Celine is AFK. Nathan, what is number two? Source. Excellent. Yes, this is the source. Okay. Next one, number three. All this. What are these? Let me see. Daniel, what is number three? Showing all this. What is number three, Daniel? Stack trace. Good. And how about number 4? Wong, what is number 4? Not sure. So let's have a look here. Which one do you think it is? Okay, so here it's system.data.sql client.sql connection.on error. Okay, what is this? Is this a class? Is this a method? Yes, correct. So we can see here that is a target site. Okay, a target site. It represents the method that caused the error. Okay, that throws the error. Yes, correct. Now, let's continue. These are the exception handling methods available for us. The first one is we can do this on a page level or on an application level. So on a page level, we have a try, catch, and finally. I'm sure you all have seen this. And then we have the page error method. And then the second one is the application level, where we have the application error method. Okay, and let's take a look at the first one, which is the page level. So what does it mean by page level error handling? We catch and handle any error that occurs in that particular page. So the difference is that we use the try catch to identify the portions of the code that are most likely to cause error, more likely prone to errors. Okay, and sometimes there's just a try catch. Sometimes we also put try catch and the finally method, the finally statement. As for page error, this is a method to handle any errors in the page level. So meaning we will add in this particular page error method in our code behind, and then we add in the code or how we want to handle the error. Now the syntax for try catch finally is here. So we have the try block. Okay, we enclose all the statements that which might fail. Okay, during runtime, statements that might throw an exception or more likely prone to errors. And then the catch. Okay, here catch, you need to have a parameter here where it will handle or it will catch the exception. And then if you want to do any error handling, then you will put it here. And then the finally statement, finally, if you add in finally, it will be executed whether or not there's an exception or not. So this is in fact optional. Okay, for the page error method, here the page error event will be raised whenever there is an unhandled exception within the page. Okay, so when there's a page error event while you're testing your program, then you can catch and handle this unhandled error that occur in a page using the page error event handler. It means a method lah. Okay, the page error method. You can see the example here. We have a simple button. Okay, we have this page error. So this particular page error, here we need to code it ourselves. I've already checked the video. Yeah, we need to code this. Normally it's a protected void page error. There are two parameters, object and also event argument. Response.write means we will display this output on the page, okay, in a paragraph, heading 1, sorry, there was an error, new line, and then we append it with the server last error message. Okay, and then don't forget to close it with the close heading 1 and close paragraph. After that, we have the clear error. Now, the clear error, if you do not clear the error, then the default error page generated by the ASP.NET framework would be displayed. So we will not be able to see the polite apology lah. Okay, let's see this, assuming that this error is unhandled, definitely you are trying to convert a string to integer. So the get last error method will return the last exception thrown, and we use the message property. Remember the 4 properties, common properties available from the exception class to display the message of the last exception thrown. Okay, and then the clear error is to clear the last exception thrown. Now, the second type of error handling, we have the application level. So the name of the method is application error. So this application error method, we use it if you want to handle errors in any page. Okay, as long as occur within your web application. So the page error here, it's only to cover or handle the error that occur in this page, but then for application error, handle any errors in any page. So example, log the errors to log file. This is what we can do with this method. We can notify administrator using email or store the info, okay, for debugging. Okay, the application errors, since it is to handle errors in any page. Okay, so where do we put it? We put the application error method or event handler in our global SX file. Okay, so you put the application error in your global SX, not in the any of your ASPX, right? So to summarize, so these are the 3 examples. Okay, basically there are 2 types, page error, how to handle page level, and also application level. The first 2 is to handle page level error. Try catch is just to handle errors in the identified portion of code, only that particular small part. And the page error is for it will be called whenever there's a unhandled exception. Okay, means we were not able to identify this portion of code for our try catch, and then as long as it is caused in that particular page or thrown in the page. For application error, it is called whenever an unhandled exception by both try catch and page error is thrown within the application. So I think this should be very clear to you. So I've added this question into your class activity, why error handling is important. Suggest 2 ways of handling the runtime errors. This one I will KIV, go straight to custom error pages. Okay. When our web app has gone live, okay, we do not want our customer or visitor, okay, or user to see the technical details of our exception. We need to provide them with a more user-friendly, okay, custom-made error page. So with the custom error page, we can more or less like map a different types of errors to a different error page. So example, we would display different messages for say page not found error. Okay, and then another error, we display another different message. Okay, we have an example. Okay, over here, we don't want our user to see this Okay, HTTP 404 showing the status code. This is too technical for them. But then during development, yeah, we will see this, okay, resource not found. Example of, instead of displaying this, okay, which is a technical details of exceptions showing the message, the source, the stack trace, and also the target site, we don't need to give them all these technical details. We can provide them with a more user-friendly custom-made error page. So we have an example of custom error page. So this is something like a server error. Okay, so cute. Sorry for giving you a site error. I may have shredded the power cord. Oh, and your favorite shoes. So cute for a server error. And the next one is a page is made unavailable. Okay, this is from Disney Store. Okay, please come back to soon to try again and enjoy. Okay. Page is made unavailable. Yeah, this is something like page is under construction. Rather than you just put there under construction here. Fix it, Felix here. I'm making improvements to disneystore.com. Okay, then it will be ready to go and better than ever. Okay, so this is the page not found error 404. Okay, so let me see. Hang on. There's certain to show you something. What did I Google for? Custom or best error page. Best error page. Oh, okay, cool. Let's see. Which one should we get? 21 stunning 404 pages. 37 examples. Oh, let me scroll down. Pretty brilliant examples. Okay, reclaim lost visitors. 50. Okay. Oh, I like this one. Okay, whoops, page not found. This is for the email center. One of our development team must be punished for this unacceptable failure. Pick who to fire. Luke, James, Martin, or Chris. In a forgiving mood, let them all keep their jobs. Return to homepage. Okay, very nice. Imagine your faces are shown here. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so I've added in this question as well into the class activity. What's the benefits of using the custom error pages in an application? Now, the next question is, we already know that we should provide our public users a more user-friendly custom-made error page, right? So how should we design our custom error page? So this is by this particular author. What should we include in the body or content area of our error page? First of all, a proper error code headers. Okay, and then you can always find the response code header. All right, with the number. Okay, 404 error 404. Okay, and then you need to also explain. Okay, explain to your public users a precise description. Normally in plain English, we do not use technical explanation like the page you requested could not be found. Why did this happen? Possibly you type an incorrect URL, or the page your requested has been moved. So this is in plain English, everyone can understand that. And one more, we at least should provide a link to the sitemap. Okay, another example here is you can add in apology for the error. Okay, and then a list of possibly related links, and different from the previous page, besides related links, okay, there's also a search box. At least we can help our public users to find the page that they want. Another example here is a link to the home page, and there's a contact form. Okay, so the visitor can notify you of the error. Okay, to set up your custom error pages, you need to have this in your web.config. Okay, it's under the HTTP errors. Okay, HTTP errors element. Okay, the error mode, if you set it to custom, okay, here it will determine that the visitor or public user will get a custom error page. Okay, so this is to indicate that we are setting up our own custom error pages, right? We can also indicate the error element. Okay, for if the error code is 404, then this is our custom error page. Okay, everything is within the system.web server within the configuration element. Okay, so we are basically done with two subtopics, and the last one would be the debugging. Okay, for debugging, we try to recap what does debugging means. A process of finding and fixing bugs in your code, bugs. I'm sure you all know why we call errors as bugs. Anyone still remember why? Why is it called as bugs? Yeah, a moth. Yeah, actually, it's a moth. Okay, let me show you the bug. Okay, there's a moth in this particular relay 345, 9 of September. What year is this? 1950s, 47. I don't know. Okay, yeah. During my time, because in the PC is a relay. Okay, you know, last time the machines are very big. Okay, during my time, since everything is in Bahasa Malaysia, so our assignment question will be like, pastikan atu cara Anda telah dinyah pijatkan. Ataupun pastikan atu cara Anda bebas ralat. Oh, pastikan atu cara Anda telah pastikan atu cara Anda bebas dari pepijat. Oh my goodness. I was like, oh, that is so difficult when it's in, the medium is in Malay, but our books are in English. So pepijat lah. Science Computer SPM. Pepijat. Okay, I remember until today lah. Okay, so for our Microsoft Visual Studio, how do we work with bugs? These errors. We can set breakpoints, okay, and then we can use the debug feature. But normally for my personal preference, I'm such an old school. This is what I told Ivan's and also Wong's batch when I taught them intro to software testing. There's one particular testing that you just dump in the print message, right? But I don't simply dump in a print message. I try to identify which one. So still take a little bit of reasoning, because I even like when I was teaching PCD1. If there's an error, I will read the error message and then from there I debug on my own. But there are some students who they are very good at using this feature. Okay, setting the breakpoints means you only want to see that particular point, and then from there you can watch all the variables value. Okay, so there's also the debugging window, debugging JavaScript, and also tracing. Okay, so how do we set the breakpoints? We can press F9. Okay, this is where we are saying that in this line of code, we want the execution to halt, stop or pause. So when we run, okay, in a debugging mode, and the execution hit the breakpoint, then it will be stopped so that we can have a look at the code. So there are a lot of things that we can see, the variables, the controls, methods, and so on. Okay, so these are the shortcut keys when you are in a debug code. F5 when you want to start debugging. Shift F5 when you want to stop debugging, so the browser will be closed. And if you want to restart, then it's Control Shift F5. Okay, so you can when you want to do debugging, it's either F11 or F10 depending on whether you want to do step into the method that is being called or without stepping into the code that is being called. Okay, now in the debugging windows there are several things that we can see. If you want to watch all variables, there's a watch window. If you want to watch all the local variables, there's a local window. To see the overview of all the breakpoint set, we have the breakpoint window. To view the order in which the code has been executed, there's a call stack window. And finally, there's an immediate window. In this immediate window, we can execute the code and we use it to test expression, for example, to see what the function returns. Okay, next, debugging JavaScript. Okay, if we want to debug JavaScript with our Visual Studio 2019, I'm not sure about 2022. Okay, version 2022. But then for 2019 version requires us to use Internet Explorer. It will not work on other browsers. But now we have Microsoft Edge with IE mode. So normally we will use this debugging JavaScript when we want to work on any external JS file, or perhaps there's an embedded JavaScript in the page. Means you have the script element in your page. And we can also add in breakpoints. So to make sure that the debugging for JavaScript works, you need to uncheck this one. Okay, disable script debugging. Okay, I think we are finishing already. But then before that, do you all know that in your for your web browser, okay, say for example here, we also have the developer tools. Okay, developer tools. If I'm not mistaken, there's for script as well. But is there any script here? If there's any script, then you can go there. So it's not here. I think it's somewhere down here. Okay. If you have the script, then it will be displayed now. Okay, let me close this. The developer tools. Okay. Let's finish up our syllabus. Okay, debugging tips. Okay, debugging tips to end our chapter 9. Never do this. Okay, number 1, leave the debug set to true in your web.config. Okay, set it to false. Otherwise, then it will affect your life when you are doing life of your web app. Okay, number 2, never do this. Leave your catch block empty. Remember your try catch block just now? That is used to, let's go to the syntax catch block. Hang on. Okay, ini catch block. This is the error handling block where you will handle the exception, so you cannot leave this empty. Okay, so what happens if you leave that empty? Much more faster for me to click next button. Then it will make your debugging difficult. You cannot prevent any error. Why do you have try catch in the first place if you leave it empty, your catch block empty? It's like you are swallowing the exception like a black hole. Okay, and then finally, another tip, do not assume your users know how to enter the right thing. Okay, I kind of agree with this one. So in this case, we try to avoid exception handling if possible. So how can we avoid exception handling? Validation. Okay, so we have learned validation 2 weeks ago. When we have validation done, then exception handling is totally unnecessary. And number 2, we need to educate our public users, show them examples. Okay, this is where your instruction, whether your web app is user-friendly or not. Okay, so with this, we are done already. Next week, we look at configuration and optimization. Okay. So I will stop presenting. I guess we can exit from this meet already. I'll see you tomorrow then.